What's up? Yeah, it feels like it's been, well, actually, guys, the last time we done one of these was like a year ago. Kind of like a year ago. Obviously, it is the 12th of January, 2025. It's been a while, as I was saying, we've been a while. Obviously, Caps joined with Deeks and Shades. How you guys doing?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Been busy, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good. Is that it? Just one answer? Is everyone okay?
I'm doing fine. Extremely busy.
Mm-hmm.
We've all been very busy.
Yeah, obviously we started to stream back up again, and then the minute we started, stuff happened, and we had to kind of stop again. It was a very stop and start. Annoyingly, but that's what happens. Sometimes things kind of just don't fall the way we want it to. But
It,
with that being said, we're still grinding, we're still going. There is a couple of things that we have done in the meantime, though. If you haven't heard it yet, then please go and listen to our first episode 1 of our Hands of Wrestling podcast that is featured by Mr. Marco Stunt himself. That is former AEW wrestler Marco Stunt. He had a lot to say. He spoke about his retirement, stuff he's doing in his future, the plans that he's got going on now. Speaking of stuff that Mr. Marco Stunt is involved in, guys, we are literally under a week away now from Prepare the Way, which is PWA's show. The one that Marco Stunt is talking about in that podcast that we listen to. Now, please, if you get a chance and you are America and you are there, obviously the location's literally at the bottom there. Guys, go and check it out. Honestly, go and check it out. He's got a lot of stuff coming. Fuego is going to be there. And obviously, those who are wrestling marks know exactly who Fuego is. And it's not expensive. Front row, $23.18. And general admission, $12.51. Guys, that's cheap and cheerful. And you're going to get some good wrestling. So if you get a chance, go and check that out, please. And tell Marco, the guys from the House of Wrestling said hello. He knows exactly who we are. Weirdly, we have a lot of contact with him, which is still surreal to me.
it's cool. It's cool. We're just like we're fine. It's thanks to Marco and how kind and generous he is with his time. It just means that we've got into that world now from a different angle.
Yeah. The other thing I would say as well is check out another sponsor, which, yes, we're still with Rogue Energy. So unleash your potential with Rogue Energy. It's the premium energy drink that fuels your focus, whether you are streaming, gaming, working, or you're hitting a gym. There is no jitters, just sustained energy. To elevate your day with Rogue, use code THEHOUNDS. That's THEHOUNDS. That's code THEHOUNDS. THEHOUNDS at the checkout for 10% off. You can use it once per order, but you can use it on every single order. And finally, guys, you know the drill by now. If you haven't, then please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you will be the first to know when we are live, when we drop another video, so you can be up to date with what we are doing. Speaking of videos, if you haven't seen the video, a couple months ago we went on a little trip, which was very fun. I'm just gonna stick the graphic up now for you. If you haven't seen the video yet, it was fun to edit. It was fun to go and do. Fun to see. We did go to Sheffield, in the Utility Arena. We did get photos with Cody, and we spoke to some of the wrestlers, and kind of down the ramp and stuff like that. We had a really good show. It was very, very fun. So if you haven't already, go and check that out. All right, now on to, I guess, the biggest thing that we're going to be covering. Obviously WWE this week. Guys, we are now in the Netflix era of wrestling. There is a lot to talk about, a hell of a lot to talk about. So let's get cracking with it. So obviously there's a lot to talk about. I want to kind of go through Raw, NXT, then SmackDown, kind of in that order. There is a lot of stuff. There's so much to talk about, but we're going to try and sum it all up in about 40 minutes. All right. So, overall thoughts, just of what you thought of how Raw was kind of done. Did you enjoy the kind of shape and form of it? A lot of people moaned it was very PLE-esque, a lot of waiting times and stuff like that. I would say take away the biggest thing from it, which would be the idea was to open the show up and have it so a lot of people that haven't watched the show, let's say in like 10 years or so, kind of get reintroduced to it. So kind of, I believe that's what they were doing. That seemed like that's the way they were going, the way they were explaining things, showing some video packages, the way they put graphics up and stuff like that. Go Shades first. What did you think?
What did I think?
Just the way it was done, yeah. Just of Raw for the moment. How did you think the Raw
of Raw on Netflix in front of 240 million around the world? What people need to realize is it's that statement: 240 million people around the world tuning into WWE for the first time, or they haven't seen it for a long time. Yeah, was it a PLE-esque Raw? You could say that. Was it a good Raw? Damn right it was. But what we have to realize is that WWE are looking at it from different angles, right? We have people that have never seen wrestling before. How do we get them hooked on this within 3 hours? You know, how do we bring people back that haven't been watching us? You know, massive. Yeah. It's, you know, Netflix at the end of the day, great deal, big gamble as well, because, you know, could play out bad, but so far Raw went great.
All right, and Deeks, what's your thoughts on how Raw went? Just Raw for now. We'll talk about the others after.
It wasn't a bad show. It wasn't a good show. They could have added some more matches to it. There's a bit too much for me. Too much talking for my liking. I prefer matches myself.
Yeah. It was very. There was a lot of waiting time. I'll give that. There was a lot of waiting time. Okay.
But for a debut of a new show on a new network, it was decent, very good. I'll give it at least 7 out of 10.
I mean, that's quite generous. I'll be honest, man. I wouldn't have given it. I would have given it like a 6 personally, if we was gonna rate it. But you know,
if it had another match or two in it, it'd be a much better night. But for what they did, it was a good night.
Yeah, I would say. Sorry, I am kind of also talking about. In the middle of like doing promo stuff as well. So the guys are kind of filling in while I get the last little bits done. No, I do agree. All right, so let's get on to a very good talking point about Raw. So just tell me your favorite bits about Raw for now, then we'll get on to some talking points that we've got. But Deeks, tell me one favorite moment of Raw. What was it, and why?
For me, it would be probably the cash-in by Tiff. It was a very nicely played, well worked.
That was SmackDown, bro.
Oh, was it SmackDown?
That was SmackDown. That was SmackDown on YouTube.
Oh, my bad. Shit.
Although, if you're talking about a champion, then technically Rhea Ripley did win her title back. Unless that's what you were thinking about.
The thing is, I've got all 3 champions, all 3 matches in my head right now, so I get confused on the brands.
Yeah. No, that's fine. All right, so forget that. Give me another one. Although that is a good moment, so we'll touch on that. That is something that we've got to talk about. But yeah, carry on.
My other choice would have been the main event between Seth Rollins and Punk.
Yeah.
Very intense battle between 2 of them. Bloodshed was seen as well, and yeah, both competitors hit each other's finishers and kicked out each other's finishers as well. It was a good match.
Do you what are your thoughts on the kicking out of each other's finishers and all that kind of stuff? Like, be honest, do you like it, or do you think it's there?
Kicking out each other's finishers is a good thing for me, because it shows they haven't perfected delivering it to each other.
Right. I agree with. However,
does that make sense to me?
I agree. I 100% agree with that. I was saying my biggest gripe with it is, for example, if it's at a certain point of the match, if you think the match is over and you're like, okay, they're getting there now. They're at this moment in time where like the match is coming to an end. Now, I'm not saying they're going to end the match with someone's finisher, but do you think at that moment in time they should be using someone else's finisher, or should they be doing something else? Because using that finisher is normally a statement of how you're going to end the match. So, do you know what I mean? For me, it's placing of where it happens as opposed to it happening. I don't like it at the end.
I think in this match, it was like, okay, one-upmanship, I can defeat you with your own move, and then the other guy's like, no, you're not. Add this, I'm kicking out.
Yeah. Anything you can do, I can do better. All right, let me quickly bring
one-upmanship.
So, Shades, what are your thoughts on just that, what we're talking about now? The Seth and Punk moment, obviously, the kicking out with the false finishes. The match itself, was Punk the right person to have the win? Where do we go from here? What's the next step from that?
Well, you see, kicking out, using your opponent's finisher down many different years, we've seen it in the past, but we've seen it from more of a disrespectful angle, which is what I can remember. You know, whether it's let's just use an example here of someone using the rock bottom on the Rock, for example, in a disrespectful way. This come out from a different angle. This was two people that wanted to inflict as much damage to each other, and it resulted in the sheer fact of what have I got left to do? What have I got left in the tank? All right, I'll hit you with your finisher. No, you won't. I'll hit you with, vice versa. Did it need to happen? Probably not. Was it a good moment on the first show of the year, seeing these two going full pelt at each other? Yeah. But I would say that they added that into the match for an entertainment value. And cool. It's cool seeing that, but I just hope they don't do it often. I mean, keep it for special moment.
Yeah, I agree. I think it should be a special attraction and things like that should be a special moment. I also think, I have another gripe. Again, I don't want to get it on too much of a complaining, but I think certain finishers, regardless of who hits it, I think if they're going to be protective so much, you shouldn't kick out of them. Do you know what I mean? And I think
like Rhea Ripley's
out of them. See, the Riptide, I can see it happening. I think someone's actually kicked out of it.
One person, can't think of name, but it was protected for so long.
For me, like Baron Corbin's End of Days, right? It finally got kicked out of, I believe, by Drew. I think it was Drew.
Yeah.
Right? So it finally got kicked out of. And normally, if you're in a situation where you're like, all right, I've got such a protected finish that I'm not having anyone kick out of it. Now, in my opinion, if you're going to let someone kick out of it because it's going to tell a fantastic story, the result of that happening is a little push further up the card and kind of being, I'm not saying you have to hang around with the main event team, but a title run, something along those lines. If the one thing that you have stands out from everyone else is a protected finish, the minute that finisher is now not protected because someone's kicked out of it, what else makes you special? And some people thrive on having a special finisher. So, do you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying that people's elbow is an insane finisher. In my opinion, it's trash. But people take it and they want to take it. Stone Cold Stunner, another one. The pile driver in WWE, for example, they use it as it's one of the most dangerous moves that can happen. Obviously, because of what happened with, for example, Steve Austin. But then in another company, I'm not saying AEW, but I'm saying in other companies, they could use it as a transitional move, but they protect something else. So I find it really hard to, unless it's a certain move and it's going to be protected, I think it shouldn't be done because it does make things a little cloudy.
Another example would be look at the Dudley Boys and their finisher. That was protected for so long.
Yeah. So
and then they had the meeting of, all right, we're going to let you kick out.
I actually can't remember the first person to kick out. If anyone does know, then obviously come in the comments.
But on the flip side of this coin, people kicking out of finishers now, it shows the development and their toughness now as well.
Yeah, but if you've gone through a grueling match, for example, Seth and Punk, let's say it was a 60-minute Iron Man match, right?
Yeah.
Or Last Man Standing, they've given Iron Man, I'll probably be better. They've given everything they can for 60 minutes, and then all of a sudden someone gets hit with a curb stomp and both guys are down. Now, if they was to scramble all that way and do that finish, and then you get 1-2, and then they kick out on like 2 8/9 or something, like 9/8 or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It means nothing. The Sweet Chin Music that Shawn Michaels hit on Ric Flair to end WrestleMania was hit once. Like, do you know what I mean? At that final moment, it was hit once. There wasn't someone else's finisher. They attempted other stuff, but the sheer fact that it was the Sweet Chin Music was the one thing that ended Flair means more. Now, super kicks get done all the time, and I mean absolutely nothing. And that's what I'm saying. Certain moves should be protected. And
that's true.
Again, those guys going back and forth hitting each other's moves, great moment. I really enjoyed it, but I don't enjoy the kickouts. I actually think we could talk about this subject all day. However, I do want to try and move it along. So look, one of my things to do with Raw, something that I really, really enjoyed, was this moment here. Rhea Ripley, obviously becoming the WWE Women's World Heavyweight Champion again, and obviously her then getting a nod of approval via the Undertaker, the American Badass Undertaker, at that as well. You know, both of them putting their arms up and staring menacingly into the camera, and then Ripley talking to the camera kind of as it's happening, you know, like saying that she needs to polish the title up for her because Taker's there. Like, I like that. It's a little bit of nod and like showing respect and stuff. To me, this was my favorite moment of Raw itself. I really liked the cold open with the 3-minute with the curtain around the ring, and then all the stuff happening, the curtain dropping, bang, out comes Triple H. He does his promo, "Are you ready?" Blah, 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 into The Rock. Now, I want to quickly get on The Rock before we kind of discuss some other stuff. I'm in two minds about how I feel of The Rock getting the reaction that he got. And I'm not moaning that The Rock got the reaction. I'm thinking storyline wise, why is The Rock getting cheered when literally 6 months ago he was getting booed as one of the hottest heels in WWE, like whipping Cody, Mama Rose, all that stuff. But then we get the Netflix thing, and Rock's the heel. Do you think that's a one-time thing, or do you think that the Rock's going to become a face again? It's going to be hard to really like change that narrative. Obviously, and again, it's one of those things that we got to do for the new fans. But how do you now switch the Rock back?
Tricky is with that. The Rock hasn't been seen since WrestleMania properly, so no one's seen him do anything. So that's why they've probably gone back to like him again.
No, the last time the Rock was seen was, I think it was Bad Blood. Do you remember when after the match the Rock come out, stared at Cody Rhodes?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
So he come out, staring at the Rock, Cody, and that was it.
But even then, nothing happened. So there's nothing.
But
if he come out and started whipping him again, then yeah, more boos, fine. But nothing happened. There was just a stare down.
Yeah. All right.
Let's not forget when The Rock come out and done his promo. You know, great promo. Cool. He's always been good at promos. But let's not forget who was sitting in the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Cody Rhodes was right there. And then one of The Rock's final lines was, you know, tell Mama Rhodes.
Yeah, Mama Rhodes. Yeah, I know. Like, I get that bit.
Like, is that not a nod that, right, first show back, let's get all of our mega stars out there.
Because they were, Cody laughed.
Yeah. So we know at some point there will be a Rock Cody thing.
All right. Well, let's quickly get on to something then, obviously, because I want to stay on topic of The Rock. Obviously, we're still going to be about Raw. Is this moment here? So we get straight after the Rock promo. So I think this kind of falls in quite nicely. We get Roman versus Solo for the Ula Fala in a tribal combat match. To me, a tribal combat match still annoys me because it's just a shitty. It's just another brand for a no DQ match or a street fight or an anything
Bloodline rules.
Oh mate, it just absolutely annoys me. Right, just call it one name and have done with it. Don't gimmick the damn thing.
A street fight, what it is.
Yeah, it's just a street fight. So, firstly, Roman's trainers, the Jordans.
Damn right.
Insane.
Yeah.
Roman gets the Ulo Fala again, so he wins. Really good match, by the way. A really great opening match. Roman gets the Ulu Fala. Out comes The Rock. Now, two things. One that I really like about this, The Rock walks out and there's no music. So it's like in the background. So it felt a lot more like a show, if you know what I mean, like a TV show. Rock gets into the ring, asks permission from Heyman. He gets the Ulu Fala, and then he re-gives the Ulu Fala to Roman. Now, bearing in mind, it takes someone that's a high chief to give that, which is what Rock was saying in the promo just before. So that does make sense. When Roman puts his one up, I believe Heyman does the same thing. Rock stands in the corner. Now, I still feel sure that something is going to be happening with these two. I think there's something there to do with that, and I think that Ulu Fala is going to be the reason. I actually think there's more story to go there. So I don't think we're getting Cody Rock yet. I think we're getting Roman Rock at Mania. I think that's what they're pushing.
What I think's gonna happen at Mania will be the High Chief wants the Ulu Fala for himself.
I can see it.
But credit to The Rock on being made a High Chief recently. That's quite cool.
So it's insane. Like the story, you know, and all this kind of stuff, the way it's going on. But Diggs, do you see it Rock? Do you see it being Rock Roman for Mania, or do you see it being Cody Roman for Mania? Do you see it being Cody Rock for Mania, or does that all come down to what's going to happen at Royal Rumble?
For me, it's Royal Rumble decision there. If Cena wins the Royal Rumble, it'll be Cena Cody. If Rock wins Roman Reigns wins the Royal Rumble, it'll be Roman Reigns Cody. So it all comes down to Royal Rumble. Who wins it?
Yeah, I think we're going in a different direction. I think now let's cast our eyes back over the last 2 years of WrestleManias. We've had Cody Roman, then we was gonna have Rock Roman, but then it turned into Cody Roman. So now maybe it's time for Rock and Roman.
I can see it. I think that's going to happen. It's going to be for the Ulu Fala.
You get what I mean? Because it was they were going to do it, then they changed it up. Cody, cool. Cody's having a great run. As much as I like Cody should defend more. But that's a different topic. But the fact is, The Rock and Roman was going to be done. Never got done. So it's still on the table to be done.
Okay. Right. So let's kind of move away from that. Obviously, Cena was kind of just mentioned, so I want to kind of bring Cena into it. The last time is now John Cena's 2025 farewell tour. Obviously, it doesn't end at Mania, going throughout the entire year. Obviously, Cena's announced himself to be as a part of the Royal Rumble. Now, two things. One, do you think Cena should be number one and then go all the way to the end and not win? Because I think that's what needs to happen, personally. Or do you think Cena goes from number one and he does the very rarely 1 to 30? And if so, why? Like, yes or no? So, my opinion, I think he starts at number one, he towards the end, and then he gets thrown out by someone and puts someone else over. That's his feud. I think that's the feud that they go for first. I'll let you go.
For me, I would like to see Cena start at one, run the gauntlet, go through everybody and win it myself.
I think he's dead. I don't know if you can hear me. All right, while wait for him to come back. Shades, do you want to pop in and then give your thoughts? So what are we doing about
Wait, you couldn't hear Deeks then?
Royal Rumble. Is he winning?
You couldn't hear Deeks?
Is he coming in at number 30? What?
Cap, can you hear us?
He can't hear us. So I agree with what you said, Diggs, on the basis of that. But I would like to see he comes in at number one, gets thrown out at number 30, and goes to win the Elimination Chamber.
I can get on board with that as well. Definitely. I can definitely get bored with that. I don't mind winning the chamber instead. I don't mind that.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that makes sense.
We get John Cena for the whole Rumble, gets thrown out. We get him in the Elimination Chamber, and he takes the win there and goes to WrestleMania that way.
Hang on. So sorry, two things. One, my AirPod died, so apologies, Deeks, if you were talking. I couldn't see your thing moving, so I was like, okay, I think it's gone quiet. All right, so I heard something to do with Cena losing the Rumble, going into Elimination Chamber.
Let me catch you up real quick. So Deeks said that he'd love to see John go in at number 1, go all the way to the end and win. Yeah,
okay.
Which would be a cool moment. Great. I said I'd like that, but what I think should happen would be go in at number 1, dominate the Rumble, make a statement on this retirement tour, but don't win, get thrown out, by Roman or whoever it is at the very end. Go into the Elimination Chamber, win that, and go to Mania.
I don't. Oh man, I think it's too crowded at the top at the moment for Cena to do the Mania thing. I think.
But he's going to be at Mania.
I don't think Cena's getting the main event at WrestleMania.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't. Well,
no. Okay, so define what you mean about going to WrestleMania.
At the minute, because we can't see they might have everything written down on their plans. We can't see those, so we have to hypothetically think of different routes and routes that John Cena can go down. Win Rumble, don't win Rumble, win Chamber, don't win Chamber, get into a rivalry with a champion, get into a rivalry with someone else that's going to Mania. Let's look at John in the past. John got on the Rock's back, which then turned into the rivalry, which went to Mania.
All right.
There's many different routes that he can take.
Okay, so look, this is my thing. I think Cena doesn't. If you need to build up a star, right now, I'm not saying WWE is short of any stars, right? But I'm saying the stars that they've got are getting a little bit boring and stale when they're doing the same kind of stuff, right? So let's go back a couple years ago when Edge won the Royal Rumble. People had a reaction of, "Oh, Edge didn't need to win." Now, I think the same thing could happen to do with Roman. So, in my opinion, if Roman's going to have a storyline with The Rock, Roman doesn't need to win the Rumble for that because it's going to be a wasted spot. You need to have someone in there that's going to have either a reason to win or it's someone brand new and fresh. Like, for example, Carmelo Hayes. Right? I'm just picking the first name I thought of out of my head. All right? It could be Punk because of the storyline that's being set up. I don't think it will be. Personally, I actually don't know who.
In a hypothetical world, there's one man on NXT that dominates all. And if he's in the Rumble, he'll be a good contender over Femi.
So we'll get on to him. Let's get on to NXT in a minute because obviously I do want to talk about that as well. Obviously, we're going to talk more Rumble stuff a little bit of a later date. This is just kind of cover this. So I want to stay on with Cena for now. But so my thing is, okay, so Deeks, you think Cena's going to go win the Rumble and go to Mania? Is that right?
Yes.
And Shade, what are your thoughts? Do you think he's going to lose?
1 to 30 out of the ring, and I'd like to see him in the Elimination Chamber.
All right. What's the Elimination Chamber for? Just out of curiosity, is it for the World Heavyweight? Is it against for Cody's title? Is it for the IC?
Correct me if I'm wrong. He's only quoted winning the World Heavyweight title.
Well, he said about being a 17-time champion, so he has kind of mentioned both. He said that in his
I think the route they'll go down with Cena would be the World Heavyweight.
Potentially.
Because obviously you've got Cody and Roman and Rock, and that pile is full up. Yep. Much love to Cena. I just don't think we can squeeze him into that. There's been years of storytelling in that, just with those 3 names alone.
Okay.
Now with the world heavyweight, world heavyweight title, it's able to be dropped, moved around more so than Cody's title right now. When you look at it from their storytelling aspect.
Right. Okay. Go on.
But are you going to really let John Cena defeat the current hottest champion in Gunther?
Exactly.
Gunther right now is hot as
he might be hot as a rocket, but he's been beaten before. He can be beaten again.
All right. Okay.
I don't know
let me bring in my I don't see Cena becoming world champion in his final run. That's all. I don't see it happening. If he's going to do anything, I think he's going to make himself a Grand Slam champion, which he isn't. That's a fact. He isn't. He's only a Triple Crown. He has never had or held the IC title. I think the route that we get with Cena is the mid-card title. He's done it with the US. I think he's going to have the IC title. He's going to have a great run with it. I think he's going to elevate people from that, which means Shinsuke Nakamura.
Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker even, not Shinsuke Nakamura. I think Breaker would be a perfect person for Cena to go against. Essentially, you don't want to give him, just feed him heels in order for him to get a win. To be fair, and I say this with the most respect I possibly can, right? If John Cena loses every single match of his entire run for the 2025 run of his farewell tour, I wouldn't be pissed off about it. Because he doesn't need to win. He's on a farewell tour. Anything he wins on this farewell tour is just a cherry on the top. We're saying goodbye to Cena. So, to be honest, I think people that we would see him go against, I'd like to see him go against Randy Orton again. CM Punk, I'd like to see him go against again. I'd like to see him put someone over. I want him to lose his match at WrestleMania because this is final WrestleMania. He needs to go out on his back. Do you know what I mean? Like, if he loves the business that much, Cena understands it and treats it with respect. So by doing that, I think he would do something to elevate the other guys because he's crowded at the top. I mean, you've got Cody, Roman, Seth, Punk, Rock, Drew McIntyre. That's 6 guys. Kevin Owens, that's 7. All floating around.
Those 6 guys that you just said out of the equation right now, forget about them. Who would you put in a match with Cena who needs that lift?
Out of those 6 guys?
No. So forget those. Scrap them.
Carmelo Hayes. Again, I think Carmelo could be a great name. Chad Gable.
Yeah. Breaker.
Again, Breaker. That's another one. It depends. Damian Priest, I think will be another good one. I know it's a good one. I can see that. I think I can see that working. I'm just trying to think of who else is like on the roster right now that really needs that shine. I don't know, but like I think
a few.
Sorry,
there's a few.
There is a few, but I feel it needs to be someone that's going to be in a position where like they get a shine from it. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Why would you have Cena come back, win the title, which is great, have his moment, and then what? He drops the title and does what exactly? He doesn't need to win a Rumble. He's done it. He doesn't need to win a world title because he's done it. He's won the US title before. There's not much he can do. He's won Money in the Bank. Do you know what I mean? There isn't much more he can do. So if he's going to do a greatest hits on what he's doing, then fine. But I think he needs to put over the younger guys. You know, the talent that is going to come next. You know, and I think someone like Chad Gable is perfect. I would even like to see, for example, as you said, Oba Femi. Imagine if he come up and he put him over. I think that would be insane. Omos, for example. He's having a hell of a run in Noah at the moment, which obviously is another wrestling company. He's still signed to WWE, but he's doing that. I think that's perfect. You know, I think something needs to be done for Cena. Cena needs to do something other than what we think he's already going to do. So that's my take on it. But yeah, I don't want to see Cena win the Rumble. I don't think it needs to be done. Do you know Joe would be perfect for Cena? Jacob Fatu. Imagine.
I was just waiting to say that name.
Jacob
Fatu,
Fatu,
yeah, great battle.
Bloodline stuff, like the new Bloodline side stuff. That would be insane.
That's what we need to talk about next. What's going to happen with them?
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's something to do with The Rock. I think the Bloodline stuff is again, it's another thing that's very clouded at the moment, and I don't really know what's going where. All we know at the moment is Roman is now, again, the tribal chief.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about something else as well, obviously. So we've got Rhea Ripley. We've then gone on to talk about Tiffany Stratton. Obviously, you spoke about that as well. Let's quickly hop onto NXT because there's two things I will talk about there. Obviously, there's Tiffany Stratton that was on SmackDown just before Raw. NXT,
what a moment!
This moment as well. Giulia and Femi becoming being crowned champions.
Damn right.
One of my favorite things to do with NXT. Obviously, Deeks, I know you prefer it. I think you actually prefer NXT to Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, I don't think it's for NXT to Raw at the moment.
Mm-hmm. So, moments of this, New Year's Evil, really good PLE, by the way.
Yeah,
really, really good PLE. Obviously, Femi and Giulia winning were perfect moments. So, what's next for two former champions? Do you see them getting called up?
Yes, both of them in my eyes are ready for the main stage. Both of them are ready for it. The only worry I've got in that is the chance of the former women champion getting lost in the shuffle.
Yeah. So
Perez,
I don't see it happening though.
Perez,
I can see what you mean, but it's scary. It's a scary thought knowing that Perez could get lost on the shuffle. All right.
She's young and eager, but she's very small and very light, so she's going to be thrown around a lot by the big wrestlers.
Yeah, but could you imagine her going against the likes of Belair, Stratton, Charlotte Flair, for example, when she comes back? There's rumors that Becky Lynch has re-signed. That'd be great. Naomi, Bailey.
I can see her against some guys. I really can. She's got the skills for it.
All right, and then in terms of Trick Williams, are we getting Trick Williams coming back?
Trick Williams
going to main roster. Is it happening?
He can do it. He's there. He's got a good talent. The crowd love him to pieces, and he would, given the right push, would go above and beyond and exceed everyone's thoughts about him. He's a good wrestler. He's good skills. He's tough. He's robust. He can take a bump.
Yeah,
I think it'd be good.
You know what I could see for Trick Williams, honestly. Obviously, Diggs, I know you're, as I said, you're the bigger NXT guy. Shades, obviously, not so much, but he does more Raw SmackDown. So hear me out on this. Carmelo Hayes is in the Rumble, right? He's thrown a couple of people out. He's getting his spot. He's getting his little shine, right? Let's say he's the only one in the Rumble. He says, no one's going to throw me out. I'm winning, blah, 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 blah. Cuts his great promo, on the build up to it. When he's in the ring, he's doing all this stuff. He looks really good. The buzzer goes off. Out comes Trick Williams. Throws out Carmelo Hayes. And then the call up for Trick Williams is the first feud that he had with Carmelo. And that puts both of them, gives both of them something to do on a build up towards Mania.
I'd like that.
I can see that happening. I can see it happening a lot.
Because it gives both of them guys something to do. They know each other well. It takes something that we had from NXT to the main roster, and then we can let them build like that. And then they can have that heated rivalry all over again.
That works for me, mate. All along.
I think they could literally crash each other. I think they're like the new. It'll be like the new Sammy and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, they are technically are.
They have that in them. So all right, so that was the first thing. So anything else that you wanted to cover in NXT? I've got your notes that you sent me. We've kind of covered almost everything. So let's just quickly run onto SmackDown. For me, the biggest moment that stands out is this one. Cody and Kevin Owens. That's the takeaway from everything to do with SmackDown is Cody and Kevin Owens, right?
What a moment that is right there.
So Cody's teamed with Jey Uso to go against the New Bloodline, which is strange. I find that really weird. No, he teamed with Jimmy Uso, right? Which I find really weird. So is Cody just an honorary member of the Bloodline like Sammy now? Are we going to be calling him Cody Uso soon? Like, what's going on? I find that really strange.
Road.
However, look, I'm a big me and Shades are big Cody fans, right? Obviously, if you watch the video that we done, this one, where is it gone? This one here, obviously, you'll see us three having a photo taken with Cody. That's one of the final. I think that's the final image. Look, we're both big Cody fans. Really happy that he won a title, and so on and so on. But guys, I hate to say it, but I think Kevin Owens is the right guy. I think he's right. Everything that Cody has done has been, from Kevin Owens' perspective, when you look at it, it doesn't make sense. Cody attacked him. Like Kevin Owens said something, apparently what happened with the backstage thing. I think Kevin was insulted by Cody. I think the whole story was going on. Cody's been kind of swaying himself the wrong way. Anything he's touched has kind of gone to shit in sense. You know, he tried to get his own way with the Rock and Roman storyline for WrestleMania last year. Kevin Owens may have a point. What's your thoughts on that? Are you siding with Cody or are you siding with Owens?
Well, since you made it clear, I'm a huge Cody fan. You know, I'm just for some reason, against every fiber of my being, I could see Kevin taking the title from Cody when the time is right.
Mm-hmm.
Because if Cody drops the title, it wouldn't really hurt Cody in that much of a devastating way. Because, you know, everyone, before he had the title, he was still huge. You know, he was still massive. You know, American Nightmare. He's still going to be the American Nightmare. He's still going to be in the ring. What do you want to talk about? Giving it all with the title or without the title. Now, if it would be a massive bump to Kevin Owens in this Jacob Fatu-like mental state that he's in, and then you give him the title as well. Like, let's not forget, this man currently has kidnapped the Winged Eagle title for himself. In his own head, he is champion.
I like it. I really like the story.
This storyline is great. But who's to say you don't take the Universal from Cody, and then we can still have the Cody Roman and all of that. But Roman wants his title back, so then it would be a Roman Kevin thing. And then when you factor in Kevin has had his issues with the bloodline. You know, it all seems to come full circle when you lay it out on the roadmap.
Yeah. Well, Deeks, what about you? What are you thinking?
For me right now, if Cody drops the title to Kevin, it opens him up to do what he wants to do, which is place everybody in WWE. He's technically right now a copper, Cody Rhodes. He's getting in everyone's face, getting everyone's action, and getting everyone's business.
Yeah, he is. And the thing is, this is everything that Kevin Owens is saying, by the way.
Yeah.
Right? And we can, as viewers, we can see it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can see it. He's injected himself back into the bloodline stuff.
People can see it, but no one's saying it.
Yeah.
Well, we're saying it.
I'm saying it now.
Owens has been saying it. No one's wanted to listen. But,
yeah,
I agree.
He is literally the policeman of the WWE right now. He's policing everything. He's
So-
everyone's business. It doesn't matter if it's Cody Rhodes versus the Bloodline, Cody Rhodes versus the New Day, Cody Rhodes versus Jeff Jarrett. Doesn't matter. He's there.
Yeah.
You know, he's in everyone's face.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
I'll tell you, I can actually see this is the starting point of a Cody Rhodes heel turn.
It could be.
This is what I see.
Well-
This is what I think is the starting point of that.
May I add to what you just said?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as we're talking about SmackDown, we're talking about Cody.
Yeah.
Who left their teammate in the ring to go and have a fight?
Exactly.
Cody Rhodes, you know, ultimate babyface, abandoned Jimmy in the ring to be savaged by Fatu and the Tonga.
Exactly.
Hold on a minute. We've got this.
And it's supposed to be our champion.
Yep.
We've got our champion who abandoned his war team in the ring to be savaged by the old bloodline, whatever you want to call them now.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I can see
To go and have a fight with Kevin. Hold on a minute.
Did you what?
That's
Oh,
something
right.
a heel would do. How many times
is.
have we seen in tag matches where one person does that little heel, you know, flicks the switch, they turn into a bit of a heel and walk out of the match?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Honestly, I can really, really see like this is the beginning of a Cody Rhodes heel turn. I really like it. All right. So a couple of things that I do want to talk about. The final couple of things, obviously, to talk about for Raw next week. Firstly, we've got title match: Dakota Kai versus Lyra Valkyria to crown the first women's Intercontinental champion. Now, obviously, we're just going to have a thing here of who do you think it's going to be.
Dakota Kai win.
Wow, I think Lyra Valkyria.
Snap, go the Irish.
Yeah?
Go for the Irish.
Dakota to win. Point made. I'll see you boys on Monday when you're both wrong.
Nah.
And then the other thing, it's been the vignettes have been going. We've had stuff happening. There was talk that he was supposed to be there on Raw. It didn't show up. Obviously, he didn't want to be overcrowded. Next Monday, do we get the debut of Penta? Does Pentagon Jr. make his debut on Raw on Monday? Is it going to happen? Yes or no?
If it does happen, holy, it's Raw going to be good. Just for that one moment right there.
I don't think they're gonna do. I don't think they're gonna do it Raw. I think they're gonna do the same thing they've done with AJ Styles or Royal Rumble.
See, the problem is this, right? Now I get
Rumble's full.
Yeah. No, Rumble isn't full yet. Not a chance.
Rumble's look at it though. Look at it. You're not gonna have him. You're not gonna have him come out at Rumble when you've got John doing his thing, Roman doing his thing. Cody everyone's going to be in there doing their thing. And, all of the other guys.
Yeah. I honestly think
if he's going to debut at Rumble, you want him to win it.
Again, that leads into another problem, right? So we need to see this man very soon because I don't want to wait any longer.
I don't want to wait any longer.
I think he debuts at Raw, and I also think he's going to be the mystery person that goes against Chad Gable.
Yes, that's why I think it is 100%.
Because
I forgot about that.
Do you remember what PS said? He's going to get the greatest in the world. So I think
I forgot about that.
What we're going to get first is something silly. It'll be like Otis coming out in a wrestling mask, for example, in a mask. Like something like that's going to happen, or a conquistador will come out. If you guys remember the conquistadors, it's going to be something like really booky like that, and then Chad Gable will get the win. He'll do his thing, and then boom, out comes Penta, and then we get that moment. So that's what I'd like to see. I think that's what'll be really cool. So that's kind of our roundup. We've done it in 50 minutes, so a little bit over. That's not too bad. Final thoughts, though. Did you guys enjoy the very first week of WWE Netflix? The crossover. Did you enjoy it? Are you looking forward to how it's going? Like what is going to go next?
Yes.
Yes, and yes. What I'll say is it's finally great that WWE and all the shows are made so easily. This is the easiest they've been made available to the world.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm hoping that more people view it. Like, it's
when was the last time a show got the numbers of being seen around the world of 240 million?
I always get skeptical on numbers. I will be honest, because
let's round it down. Even 100 million views.
Yeah.
Around the world.
And
let's see how they run with this now.
And also the best thing about even a Netflix, if you can't watch it live, like I can't because of work. I can watch it the next day when I go home from work.
Yeah,
it's so much easier.
Exactly that. Exactly that. Like, I really enjoyed it. I thought the streams have been really good. They've held out. We thought they were going to be quite bad, but they've held out. They've done really well to kind of counter that issue straight away.
Yeah, they buffered quick.
Yeah. The advert breaks as well. I've not really minded them. I think they've been a lot better. Obviously, we see what's happening on the ad breaks. And then we do get a normal ad, which is just like a little promo thing, like a WWE shop or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not been as bad. I do want to finish off though with guys, you know, we've got obviously other content out there. We've done the SummerSlam logo tier list. That was fun. We've done a Money in the Bank winners tier list. Obviously, we're now going to have to do something else to do with the Money in the Bank, obviously, because we've got Tiffany Stratton to now add into the list. Maybe we talk about the greatest top 10 of all the ones that we've got. Maybe that becomes another list that we're going to have to do. I'm not sure. But before we go, obviously, huge shout outs to, I would say, friends of the show, Marco Stunt, for coming on the podcast, talking for over an hour with me, just about his career, what he wants to do next, where he's gone. If you haven't heard it already, please check it out. It's going to be in the description box on YouTube. We do have it on our top link on our Twitter anyway, or X account. So please go and check that out. Lovely guy. He had so much time. He's been nothing but promote the pod since he came on it. So in return, obviously, the one thing we can do is return a favor and please go and watch Prepare the Way and the PWA Pro Wrestling Adrenaline show, which is in a couple of days' time. The card, it looks really good. The ones that I'm looking forward to, obviously, Fuego. They've got a lot of stuff going on. They've got a lot of shows happening as well. So please get a chance, go and support them. If you can't support them that way, then they are sponsored, if I believe. Let me get the information up real quickly, just so I don't want to butcher and give the wrong information. But the PWA are also working with. They have a streaming kind of rights deal. They are on a streaming deal. I'm just trying to get it. I should have wrote this down before. Before I got everything. So they're on a thing called Title Match Network. So if you want to watch them, but you obviously can't get there live, then I don't know what their turnaround will be. I don't know if it will be streaming just live. However, I know that if you use the code PWA at the checkout for Title Match Network, you'll get 50% off of all memberships and downloads. That's titlematchnetwork.com. That's TitleMatchnetwork.com, titlematchnetwork.com, and use the code PWA at the checkout, and you'll get 50% off. That's all memberships and downloads. So, guys, please go over and support PWA. Go over and support Marco Stunt. Go and give them a follow. Tell him the guys on the Hounds of Wrestling said hello. Any final thoughts, guys, before we get out of here?
I have a final thought.
Go for it.
Of something we forgot about.
Go for it, quick.
On Monday Night Raw, what did you make of Hulk Hogan coming out?
I want to. I was like, I don't want to bring it up on stream because I feel like it could either go one of two ways. It can go a salty way where people get political, or it can go another way where people just don't like the guy. Because obviously, outside of the way he was with wrestling, I think it's really hard to split someone up in terms of what they did in wrestling and in terms of what they do in their real life, which is why I try to
let's
avoid.
Put it down to the moment of the night.
It was
If
pointless,
I have
mate.
to talk about it real quick, I don't think fans care. You know,
No, it's pointless.
I don't think fans care about certain people anymore. Obviously, Taker come out, and great, but Taker never made. Again, I don't want to make it too like shitting on one wrestler, but Taker never kind of made the show all about him. Hogan wouldn't do this to this person. The WCW stuff. Then, do you know what I mean? Like there was. I think there's so much in it. Fans are like, no. I mean, I've seen people commenting about Ric Flair. He said he could have one more match, and fans are like, no. You know, the same again. I think with Foley, as much as I'd love to see one more match with Foley, he doesn't need to do it. Like Foley's loved. Do you know what I mean?
Foley has done enough and broken enough bones and had enough teeth through his nose that he doesn't need to do it anymore.
So I just think the fans made it very, very clear how they feel about him. But then it's not just that. In 2021, Hogan returned for WWE and was booed loudly then as well. So it's not the first time that crowds have tried to boo like Hogan out of the building. So, you know, make do with that information, I guess, with what you want. But I try to avoid it because obviously some people say like it's a political thing. Some people say it's because of the way he was in his personal life. Some people just don't like him. Look, without Hogan, a lot of stuff in wrestling wouldn't be happening now. But then at the same time, he's now not around. He's now not doing anything with wrestling. He was there for one reason and one reason only, to put his beer over. That was it. If anyone else had a choice, they would have 100% put Austin's beer over instead of Hogan's.
Yeah, I'd have put that one.
Do you know what I mean? So, you know, make do with that information as you want. I think that's the much as I kind of want to touch on it without getting, again, political and stuff like that. Just quickly,
my first word, I mean, he said Hogan was pointless.
Yeah.
I'll make my point. It added nothing to the show.
It didn't. If anything, it sucked the life out of the show.
He did.
I went. You know? Put it this way: when I heard the first two notes of the music, I got up and went to make coffee.
Exactly.
I'm not lying. I heard the music, the booze, Coke, coffee.
Mm-hmm. I just think there's
so that's the only part. I haven't even seen it. What he said or anything, but I'm going to guess that there was an American flag waving behind him.
Yeah, Jimmy Hart was there. He had the flag behind
him. But
that's that bad. Hogan ripped his shirt, right, and kind of walked off like with his towel tucked between his legs in the sunset. His shirt wasn't even completely ripped off him. He walked backstage and the shirt was still wrapped around his waist. Like he didn't rip it off completely. Like
when I come back from making coffee, he was just walking down the aisle, and I'm just like, what happened?
You missed the only thing you missed was a very loud like swarm of boos. Other than that,
yeah.
Oh, no, I could hear them from the telly while I'm in the kitchen. I'm just like, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah. I had a nap, so that was my answer.
On that note, though, guys, look, it's been really fun talking all things about WWE again. We're just about to come up to the 60-minute mark, so we'll end it on that. It's a nice round of time then. Guys, if you do watch us on, obviously I know I can see the numbers are going up, which is fantastic to see. Please follow us on YouTube. Obviously, we've got more content in there, stuff that's off stream that isn't going to be live. The latest news and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, do follow us on TikTok. That's going to be popping up as well soon. We've got some stuff there. We've got a couple more interviews that are going to be coming out. One of them, again, thanks to Marco Stunt. So please go and check out PWA. We've got a lot of stuff coming this year. We're trying for some other up-close interviews. We're going to see what goes on. I'm not going to spoil it or anything like that. Maybe some road trips. We'll see. But guys, it's been an absolute pleasure watching and talking, WWE with you. I look forward to the next week and the predictions for Royal Rumble. Guys, see you later.
Laters.